Well, that's the first time I've heard that. So this class is going to cover several topics uh, that are all of them really good. So we'll weave them all together. Um, I I don't know if any of you, I know a couple of you know, but there was a lunar eclipse this morning, and um, I saw the moon last night. My sister saw the eclipse this morning. But eclipses and how they happen uh, bring energy into our life for specific things and when they're happening and stuff like that. So, this eclipse, I wanted to share with you what it's all about. So, um, this eclipse is about transformation and um, things leaving our life and new paths being forged, um, because it's the moon eclipsed in the Sagittarius constellation, where we're pulling back the bow and pushing forward in our life. And so the energy for transformation, for um, a reinvention, for uh, heading out onto a new path, for things leaving our life that need to leave. All of that energy is here for that, and those things will be facilitated in our life. And with the eclipse, eclipses generally have a partner eclipse. So the lunar eclipse was this morning, and its partner solar eclipse is on June 11th. And so the energy for transformation, for moving forward, for hidden truths to float up within us, for things, secrets, so to speak, to float up within us that need to come to the surface and be released, or come to the surface and be added, walked out in our lives moving forward. The energy in the universe is moving all of that right now, in and is available in each one of our lives. So it is a really exciting time. It's a perfect time for this process for me, because it's a time of letting go of where I am and receiving clarity and the next steps, and my new path and new direction, and setting the intentions for that. So it's super fun to have this happening right now, um, for myself and for my sister, who is also uh, facilitating leaving her current situation and coming out to be with me in Maryland. So, but that the the energy is here for all of us. So if you find yourself with things coming up within you, or things trying to leave your life, let them go, and receive the wisdom, the knowledge, and the secrets that float up from within you, uh, if they do. But being open to the process that's available to us through the universe and through all of the planets and stars that are moving on our behalf all the time as human beings. We just are unaware of it. And so, in the next week, looking forward and setting intentions for um, what the next adventure is, what's available to you, seeking that out, and creating an intention and energy around uh, the next adventure that you want to have, the next chapter in your life, so to speak. So, so that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. And if you have any interest at all, text me and I will forward you the email, the website. It's super great write up about it. And I'd be happy to send that along if you want it. So just like shoot me a text and I'll send it. Um, the next topic I want to talk about is being in the present now and the importance of being in the present now, and why it's so important. Because I find it's a practice that we need to develop. Uh, and being in the now is being present in this very moment completely. So, you're not going along having a conversation about a past conversation inside your head, reviewing it, reliving it, reworking it. And we're not thinking ahead about the next conversation we're going to have, what we're going to say, what we want to get across, all of that kind of stuff. We're present where we're living, which is right here and now. And our conversation with our high self, with the divine life that is within us, the divine life that we are, is now. It's now. It isn't in our past, and it isn't in our future. And we have to go get it or catch up with it. It's in our right now. So living from the heart and living in love and living in the presence of the answers that we need, the clarity we need, is now, paying attention and being aware of now. And that is a challenge because we're so used to processing, chewing the cud about yesterday and then planning everything for tomorrow, or the next minute or whatever. Like even going for a walk, are we paying attention to the nature that's all around us, or are we thinking about everything else that is going on in our life and what we think it means to us, right? So, and often those ponderings about yesterday and tomorrow are they're not positive either. So we're not generating a bunch of positive energy doing that. So there is a big challenge in getting to the point where we can let go of our mental conversation and let go of the anxiety or fears or whatever the conversation is that's going on in there, and being present within ourselves in the moment, because everything is speaking. And I know we've had lessons on this, that universal love is going to speak to us through everything that's around us, but we have to pay attention, right? And we pay attention by asking the questions that we can get answers for, right? And what's my next steps, or I'm thinking about, just like we would talk to a friend, right? And then listening for the response. Because if we all want peace of mind and we all want clarity, and is this the right thing for me, or is this going to be a great move for me, or why am I confused? Whatever it is that we're talking about, is there going to be fullness in my life? Whatever conversation we choose to have, if we're having those ponderings and having the desire to have the answer to that, but we keep talking and we keep talking about yesterday, and we keep talking about what we're afraid of, and then we keep talking about tomorrow. Divine love is never going to overtake you. It doesn't talk over the top of you. It doesn't put tape over your mouth, right? That's your job. But it will just wait for you to arrive at the present moment where you are willing to hear, willing to hear and willing to have the conversation. So what I have found is super challenging aspect to that is what prevents us from being still and really knowing what it is that we want to talk about and where we want to move forward in our life and what we are uh, pondering, the truths that we're seeking, the wisdom that we're um, requiring, and all of that. Um, the the divine energy that is within us that brings those things up and out and produces those things for us, um, we have to believe that it's there, and we have to believe that it is speaking to us, or we're never going to shut up, right? So we have to, again, really flesh out, do I believe the truths? What truths am I living to? Like, what truths am I believing? Like, what is my truth about who and what I am? If I believe I am a divine uh, light and life, and I'm tapped into the universe, uh, universal divinity, then I believe the answers are there for me. So how do I develop the connection, the friendship, the conversation to build the confidence to receive? Because the answers are there, always speaking, always floating around. It's up to us to decide, because it's easy to say, yeah, this is my belief system and this is what I believe, but it must be present in our moment to moment life to mean anything. It must be present. We must be living according to our belief system, not a little here, maybe over there. If it's truth, it's truth. We all breathe air. We're none of us going to do without it, right? It's the same thing. It's our lifeblood. It is the beating of our heart. It is the power within us, and we have to tap into it to have the miraculous life that is there for us in order for us to evolve into the fullness of the truth that we were created with, the wholeness, the abundance, the peace, the joy, the happiness, the compassion that we were all created with that fabric. It's up to us to go in there and become connected with those attributes and become connected with the very energy that we are. And then we begin to flow within our energy. And the peace and the clarity is in right now. It's not when I arrive over there, and we like to think the peace and the clarity is when I have the answers, I'll be at peace. No, you won't. You're just going to want the next answer. Like, peace is not because you have answers. It's because you know who you are, and you know that you're divine, and you know you're tapped in, and you know you're taken care of, and everything's there for you, right? That's peace. Peace isn't having the roadmap detailed out. That's nice, but there'll be anxiety about something along the way if you don't deal with that. So we have to decide, not just talk about, but am I a divine being? And what does that mean to me? And if I am a divine being, why am I struggling? Is it because I'm not slowing down and listening? Is it because I am wanting it a certain way only? Is it because I have preconceived ideas and notions about how things are supposed to be and I don't want to look at those? I don't want to look in the mirror and say what in me is standing in the way of greatness, the greatness that I am, that the world needs to have. Each one of us has our own essence of greatness and beauty and truth that the world needs. and we are beings that as we move, we begin to recognize and remember and uncover the truth of who and what we are. It's not enough to know we're divine. Once we know something, we must be that thing, right? We must be that thing. So in in our quest for truth and our quest for living a full and satisfied and expressed life, um, are we doing it and letting divine love tag along, or are we front and center with the power within us, saying, what do I need to do? Is this the place I need to go? Because pretty soon the conversation will begin to flow, so that it is not always a guessing, like a red light, green light, go, stop. It'll be a flowing conversation, and the truth will be so alive. The divine light and life will be so alive in us. We will be moving and flowing in a knowing about who we are, and and our service here is love and compassion, um, no matter what we're doing, right? As we're exploring life and exploring, um, discovering our talents and what makes us happy and what we like to do all day, that's, that makes us happy, right? And brings us joy and expands the space around us. When we're in love and we're in compassion and we're in, the present now, we're expanding. We're becoming bigger and lighter, and love is flowing. When we're in our mind, wanting things to be a certain way or have all the answers, we're contracting. Fear, confusion, anxiety is contractions, and love, compassion, joy, happiness, peace is expansion. Knowing everything is here for us, and maturing and moving into a place where the things that we need and desire in life are opportunities to use and expand the power within us to create the life in front of us. It's the divine moving through us, through the divine life that we are. That's what that is. And we don't have to have it on a plan. We have to have room for freedom for stuff we don't know, because we're not going to see what the greater thing is if we're locking in to all that we know. And it has to be this way. People have to treat me this way. My partner has to act this way, has to respond this way. That's just controlling your life so that, you don't have to evolve. We move in love, love flows out of us, that love attracts to us um, good things. It is an opportunity to move in the divine power that we are every step that we take. And we're not alone. And the peace comes from knowing I am, I am, I am, and I am not alone. I am not on this journey flying in the wind somewhere. I'm on this journey in here, and I am moving step by step on my path. And I know it's my path. I don't have all the answers, but I have a knowing. And that knowing is profound peace within my body, within my spiritual being. So we are, in all of our situations, we must be tuned in moment by moment to the divine life that we are, so that we intuitively begin to know, this looks like all that, but I'm going to hold off, or I feel that maybe I should do this, but then I get a sense, yeah, hold off. Um, and I do hold off. And when I do hold off, it's a beautiful outcome. So it's trusting. You know, trust is an enormous aspect of our relationship with ourselves, the divine within us, the universal love that's here for us, with each other. I mean, trust is a from the first moment forward is either built on or violated. So we arrive at a point of having to balance that out. Am I going to trust? Am I going to trust myself to be in this relationship at the depth and the resonance that I need to be to maintain this relationship of openness with the divine life that is flowing through me and that is me? Am I going to trust that it is and I am, right? And that is a step one. It's so important because everything else is affected by that, right? It's affected by that. We're not able to walk things out because we're fearful of the outcome. We're fearful we'll be left wanting. We're fearful that there won't be love for and protection and abundance and being cared for. We're fearful that we'll be left behind or that we've already left behind. Or it creates, a lack of trust is the opposite of love. And it creates the the contracting thoughts, which create the contracting emotions, which we implode then upon ourselves instead of expanding like a flower, opening and expanding light away from ourselves. And then the life comes through us and begins to pull into our life all that we need for that next step, for that process, for the people that need what it is you're bringing to them, right? Because we're all bringing stuff to other people. Like we're all here to serve in some form or another. Um, and oftentimes we don't even know what that beautiful thing is, right? It's going to come naturally as we emerge and grow and evolve out of the life we've been living into who and what we really are. So, inside the life we've been living. uh, so that is a great practice. You can set a timer and you can try to continue to return to the present now for like 5 minutes. And if you are in the present now, not wandering around in your mind, then try another 5 minutes. And I'm not suggesting, oh, we're just going to float, along and not plan. No, if you have something important to plan, make your outline, do your work, do what it is you need to do. You can still be present while you're doing that. Is there anything I'm leaving out? I read it over, listening for comments from within my soul. I read over what I've written. Am I complete enough? Is there something that I'm missing? Is there something else I need to see? Is there something I can add? Right? We are active in our life, but we are inclusive with the life that we are and the life that is within us, because that is where life comes from. That's where the power is. That's where the peace about life, of being relaxed and all is well within me, the sense of well-being, and all around me. It comes from within, and it comes from being present. And then we begin to listen and hear and move, and we're still living complete lives, completely active in all the stuff that we're doing. But we are now moving as the divine beings that we are. It's this one book, in the end of the chapter, it said, to be in our divine self, to say, like, I am the divine looking through Audrey's eyes. I am the divine touching with Audrey's hands. It will change you if you begin, I am the divine walking into this room in Audrey's body, right? We begin to personalize our divinity to ourselves, right? And we begin to become alive, more aware, and more awake to all that we are becoming, and all that is available for us to become. So that's the lesson part. If you want to talk about it, please unmute. It's okay. I don't want to talk about it either. No, I'm kidding. Okay. It's a lot to take in. A couple different topics, but
I have a question.
I have an answer.
I am like tuned in, tapped into like everything that you're saying, but then I feel like when you're not talking about it, I can get away from it, if that makes sense. So are you recommending like the 5 minutes to go back into it and just be in the present moment? Or like, are there any like things you can say to your divine self to like get back on track when you start to feel a little separated from it, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm. If you're separated, if you're you're not separated, first of all, that can never happen. There's no such thing as a separation. There is an awareness and a lack of awareness. So we're either aware or we're distracted. And if we're distracted, and that creates the sense of where's that connection? Isn't there anymore? Then what's the curtain that fell down between your awareness and your external life?
I'm sorry, was there a question in there?
No. No, but that's what that we ask ourselves. Okay, if I'm feeling there is a separateness, that's because we are distracted, and we have allowed that distraction to create a sense of a lack of awareness or a sense of separation.
Okay.
We've dropped our attention off of ourselves, and we've put it on something else so much that we're not being altogether one. We're being
Okay.
half. We're being
Got it.
half.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, the sense of I was having a conversation with somebody earlier. We never lose ground, and we never lose our divine self. We are, and then we become more aware. So as we become more aware, we become less blocking of the love and power that is within us, that is wanting to flow out. And then the more it flows out, the larger capacity we give it, then the more dominant that our divine self is in our world, and the less dominant and necessary is our persona, because we are becoming our authentic being. And the persona, the life that we've learned, and how we feel about ourselves and our perceptions and how we fit in the world and how the world works, and all of that is what we've learned in our life that lays over the top. So as we've been peeling back those things and questioning those concepts within ourselves and choosing to be more opening and less closing, more expansion, less contraction, then we begin the divine light within us holds more real estate in our life. And then pretty soon we begin to be in that authentic being of us, and less in trying to control and manage and all the stuff that we do separate. So great, awesome. Making a conscious effort to practice, like the 5 minutes or whenever it is, I don't care how long you do it, but making if in every moment are you present with your divine being, your divine self? Are you operating from your divine light and life, or are you operating out of your thinking mind and not connecting? So a tapping in and out, you'll notice while you're driving, what are you thinking about? Are you tapped in, or are you over here, or are you over there? Because in the present moment is where we need the answers and the direction and the intuition. Turn this way, not that way. Yeah, we need it in the present moment. It's an active, ongoing conversation about our life, so that we move in power and move on our behalf and the behalf of others with ease and joy and happiness, experiencing love. That is what we're here for. So if there are no other comments about that, the other topic I'm touching on before we meditate is there is no time and space in the universe. And we're here, and we call it time, and we call it our lives, but all concepts, all potentials, all time, everything exists at the same time. So I can be anywhere, and I can also at the same time energetically be present with you. That's why this class works. And not because of Zoom, but because energetically we reach out and are sensing each other. We're sensing each other. And so I am moving to another state, but I am not moving out of your energy fields and the energy that we share. And the availability of that for you, and you for me, that doesn't change anything at all where I am. And that is why when we, in our meditation, we gather our energy and we direct it at somebody, like when we directed it at Kenny, and he experienced it, but we didn't all like rush into his living room and pounce on him. We were still wherever we are on this Zoom, but he experienced the influx of the love and the energy pouring into his life. And we are all did it with our intention. So that is why it doesn't matter. Where we are, we can touch each other with our energy, with a thought, you know. So we can also call and, you know, all of that stuff. But energetically, there's no distance. We're all woven together, but through the divine fabric. So we can sense and feel the presence of another by thinking about them. It connects us with their energy. And that's why sometimes we think about people and they call us because they felt it. They got an impression. So, on that topic, we're going to send energy to somebody during a meditation. Um, and if anyone else needs any, just let me know. Shoot me a text. But the Tommy was really sick a couple weeks ago. He had a non-COVID virus that almost took him down. He was really, really, really sick, and he's recovering. He's doing super well. He's back at work, but his body is still recovering. So we are going to go into our meditation. We're going to connect with that love, and then we're going to send energy to Tom for his highest and best. So that said, I'm going to stop the recording.